You are watching Daily Market Pulse. Today is Wednesday, May 13, 2026. If you want a clean daily read on macro and market risk, subscribe for the next briefing. Inflation surges to 3.8%, the highest in 3 years. WTI crude is trading at about $101, slightly lower on the day. Let's dive into the details. The inflation rate has surged to 3.8%, the highest in 3 years. This increase in inflation is driven by rising energy costs and a strong labor market. Inflation matters because it affects the purchasing power of consumers and the profitability of businesses. When inflation rises, it can lead to higher interest rates, which can impact borrowing costs and investment returns. The market reacted to the inflation data by selling off stocks and buying bonds. As investors become more risk-averse, investors should watch the Federal Reserve speakers on Thursday for clues on the next interest rate move. They should also keep an eye on the oil prices as they continue to drive energy costs higher. The surge in inflation is a significant development, and investors need to adjust their strategy accordingly. Let's look at the impact of oil prices. Oil prices reached about $101/barrel, driven by supply disruptions and rising demand. This increase in oil prices will have a significant impact on the economy and investors. Oil prices matter because they affect the cost of energy, which is a significant component of the economy. WTI crude is trading at about $101, slightly lower on the day. WTI crude is trading at about $101, slightly lower on the day. Investors should watch the oil inventory data for clues on the next move in oil prices. They should also keep an eye on the geopolitical developments, as they can impact oil supply and prices. WTI crude is trading at about $101, slightly lower on the day. Let's look at the impact of safe haven assets. The Bitcoin price has risen to about $81,213, and the gold price has risen to about $3,050 as investors seek safe haven assets. WTI crude is trading at about $101, slightly lower on the day. Bitcoin and gold matter because they are seen as safe haven assets, which can provide a hedge against inflation and market volatility. When investors become risk-averse, they tend to buy these assets, driving up their prices. The market reacted to the surge in Bitcoin and gold prices by selling off stocks and buying bonds as investors become more risk-averse. Investors should watch the Bitcoin volatility for clues on the next move in prices. They should also keep an eye on the gold prices, as they can impact the demand for safe haven assets. The rise in Bitcoin and gold prices is a significant development, and investors need to adjust their strategy accordingly. Now let us turn to today's live market snapshot, where gold, crypto, stocks. Now for our daily financial market update. Here is where the key asset classes stand as of Wednesday, May 13, 2026. Gold is trading at about $4,710, slightly higher on the day, and is slightly higher over the past 5 sessions. Silver is at about $88, higher today, and strongly higher over the past 5 sessions. In crypto, Bitcoin is at about $81,200, slightly higher on the session and slightly higher over the past 5 sessions. Ethereum is at about $2,300, higher today. Other major crypto, Solana at about $96, higher, BNB at about $685, strongly higher, XRP at about $1.467, higher. On equities, the S&P 500 at 7,401, slightly lower. The Nasdaq at 26,088.2, slightly lower. The Dow at 49,760.6, slightly higher. Internationally, the DAX at 24,108.4, slightly higher. The Nikkei at 63,272.1, slightly higher. The FTSE at 10,296, slightly higher. On the bond side, the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield is at 4.5%, higher on the session, and the 30-year yield is at 5%, slightly higher. Yields remain in focus as the market watches for Federal Reserve signals. Rounding out the macro picture, WTI crude at about $101 per barrel, slightly lower. The dollar index at 98.54, slightly higher. Euro dollar at 1.171, slightly lower. The picture is mixed across asset classes, with no dominant directional theme yet. Investors are watching macro catalysts closely before committing to a clear risk stance. So what does today mean for you? Inflation is rising, and it's crucial to adjust your investment strategy accordingly. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you again tomorrow.